What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. And we're back with another video, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Can you tell? Guys, we got to talk today about AHIP. So AHIP is right around the corner from coming out at the time of actually recording this video. And we got to talk about a few tips that are actually going to help you be successful with AHIP. Last year, I put a video out about AHIP, about the truth about passing it, how you just have to get through it. I got a little vulnerable with you guys, and I shared that early on in my career, I did actually struggle with it a little bit. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out on our channel. It's one of the most viewed videos on the channel. You guys really seem to identify with that video, and it kind of got picked up by the algorithm a little bit. But we got to talk about just some tips. Some tips about AHIP that are going to help you effectively certify and achieve ready-to-sell status. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we do that, I got to talk to you guys about my favorite telemarketing lead company. And that, of course, is Lead Heroes. Guys, Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketing leads. Whether it be final expense leads, turning 65 leads, Medicare supplement leads, they just have something for everybody. You can either pay per lead, right, to where, you just pay a set fixed amount per lead, and it's going to vary depending on what kind of lead you actually do end up purchasing from them. Or you can purchase one of their custom calling campaigns to which you pay by the hour, and one of their trained and professional telemarketers will do a script, either one that they come up with that they use that's a generic script of theirs, or they can come up with you can come up with a script of your own, and they can do that. It's really literally a custom calling campaign, so they can do preset appointments. They can just send you per lead. It's custom. It's whatever you want them to do. Just because you watch this video today, Lead Heroes is going to give you 10% off all orders you make on their website with the coupon code found down in the description. A link to their website can be found in the description as well, so go ahead and check them out. Essentially is an educational company more than anything else. They partner with the insurance industry in a couple of different forms and fashions, and they come up with testing and certifications for insurance agents. And the AHIP test is a Medicare certification course that typically has to be done every single year from usually July. Usually it's going to come out actually June 20th, June 21st, somewhere in there. And you'll have until the end of September to actually take and pass this course, although I recommend doing it as soon as you possibly can. And we'll get into that in a second here. Then after that, if you're going to sell Medicare Advantage and or Part D prescription drug plans, the AHIP test is typically going to be required with 99% of different insurance carriers. Then after that, each insurance company that you're going to be representing is going to usually have their own certification test and course that you're going to have to pass. So here's my first tip. Number one, AHIP is usually $175 to take. If you get it through one of the carriers, and there's a multitude of different carriers that offer this, they will give you a $50 discount on your AHIP class or course or whatever you want to call it, certification, to where it's only going to cost you $125. Take the discount, right? However, that being the case, you're going to have to be put in a situation to where you're going to have to wait for the insurance company certifications to come out for the next upcoming year. So for example, a lot of insurance companies will come out maybe a week later than the actual AHIP certification comes out. They'll come out maybe early July. And if you take AHIP before the insurance company certification actually comes out, well, then you're going to be at a place where you're going to pay the full $175. The other thing you want to make sure to keep in mind is if you're going to take it through one of the insurance companies, the first step you want to do is actually contract with one of those insurance companies. And that in and of itself, depending on the insurance company, can usually take a couple of weeks for them to do your background check, to approve your contract, and then they'll allow you to get in and do AHIP through them specifically and get that discounts. But number one, take it from one of the insurance companies. Tip number two would be don't overthink it. In years past, and for the most part, we haven't seen this year's test, but usually it's not dramatically different from year to year. In years past, a lot of times, the practice questions on the modules are usually some of the same questions that are on the test. So if you do a good job and you study those and you actually take the test and take it a little bit seriously in the practice test, you'll be familiar with some of the questions. Also, this is an open book test. You can download the modules. You can go through it and look for your answers while you're taking the test. It is timed, so you can't take too much time. But just make sure that you actually understand that and you have the modules available at your disposal, because it's going to help you if maybe you get stuck and you can't remember if it's either A or B. An AHIP test is a multiple choice test. Tip number 3 would be give yourself plenty of time to pass and take this test. Typically, you're going to have 5 modules that you have to go through before you're even allowed to take the final exam. Now, for those of you who may not know, keep in mind you have 3 attempts to pass this test, and you usually have to get a 90% or above in order to achieve a passing score. If you don't accomplish this, it's going to not bode well. A lot of insurance companies might not let you contract. So it's very important that you get it. In my opinion, if you can get it the first time, that's going to be what bodes well for you, because then you're done. You don't have to worry about it any longer, and you got kind of the monkey off your back for another year. But make sure that you turn your cell phone on silent. You're not having people text you. Make sure that you just can lock yourself away a little bit. Tell your family if you work from home, they'll be like, hey, I need to take care of this. I need to get this done. I'd say give yourself about 4, maybe even 5 hours to where you can set aside and actually just get it done. Get through it. Quiet place, no distractions. You're going to get through it much easier that way. It's just like when you're in school, right? When you're in high school and you're doing homework at home and your parents always told you to turn the television off because you can't concentrate, you can't multitask. Well, they were right. So feel free to take their advice on that and just make sure that you're in a quiet place. Give yourself time to get through it. I used to look at AHIP very negatively. Now I look at it as something that can essentially really give you a ton of information right off the bat that's good for new agents. I believe that it's something that's going to essentially purge you if you're brand new to this whole world of selling Medicare. It's a lot of information. It's not exciting. It's dull. It's boring. It's like reading the dictionary. But a new agent that goes from start to finish through AHIP, achieves a passing score, is going to know a lot more than they knew beforehand, typically. And this is going to bode well for you because there's little tiny things that it's going to be able to teach you that maybe your upline might not think to go over with you. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, right? So if you have a 1-hour scheduled call with your upline, and they're not going to have time to go over everything. AHIP is a nice little thing because it's compliance, it's product knowledge, it's all kinds of stuff condensed into one little course. So look, if you're brand new and you've never done it before, look at it like a learning experience, I would say. Look at it like something that's going to help you achieve a lot of knowledge that's going to bode well for you going forward, because let's face it, guys, I mean, a lot of this stuff is going to end up being self-taught no matter who your upline is, right? Your upline is only one person. Your upline probably works with more people than just you. Your upline's probably a very busy person, and they can teach you a lot. You can learn a lot. But some of this stuff has to be self-taught, and AHIP is the prime example to where you're supposed to essentially go through that process of being self-taught by going through this test. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. If you have any tips that maybe you would like to suggest to new agents, if you're not a new agent yourself and you're experienced, feel free to drop them down in the comment section. We'd love to hear about it. Any advice that anybody can give is always helpful. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like in the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we upload. And here's to your success and your abundance. Happy AHIPing.